Welcome back, traders. Trading the 2040 strategy combined with the volatility stop indicator. Let me just start off by saying what a week's difference makes. Unbelievable. This week I captured about 3,200 pips. To be exact, 3,245 pips. I mean, I actually made a little more, but that was earlier in the week, and I didn't record that. And I was trading the Great British Pound JPY, so I won't even count those pips. But what I have on my computer is 3,245 pips captured for this week. If you saw some of my previous videos, I traded very little last week. The market didn't move, but I still had positions on, but I was not going to close them because I was expecting to go to the D extension, trailers running, and the result was, a great week. So this is the Great British Pound AUD. This is my big winner again. This was the swing. I took the first swing, and I got a ton of pips on that move. This one, you had to be really patient, but I did take profit last week. Not that much profit, but I did take some profit on the table. I mean, off the table. So here's the A, the B, pull back to that 86%, and I was in this trade for about 2 weeks. But my original entry is using the 2040, to get those entries off the volatility stop indicator. And I got my entry up here, and the currency pair dipped. Took some profit in my video because I knew this was like heavy support down here, and here's the ECO, telling me that this thing is pulling back. Right down here, it's pulling back, pulled back. I draw my trend lines. I'm gonna take these blue lines off because I'm gonna have to reconfigure my charts anyway over the weekend. And I keep these trend lines so I know where the currency pair is gonna bounce, and I could take advantage of like small moves here and there. And then it came into this wedge pattern here. I got the downtrend line, and it went up here, hit this downtrend line, and here's volatility stop call as well, and it just went down to the D extension. I was going to take profit at this. I think I did take profit here. Took a lot off here. Took a couple here. At this juncture of the B low, I thought it was going to bounce. It never bounced, and it continued on. And then it hit the. I wasn't watching my computer because I had work to do, so I wasn't really at my computer. I was closing some of these trades with my smartphone, but I had orders already set here to exit my trades, and basically that's what I did. And it was just I just want to thank Market Traders Institute for a great education in forex trading. I mean, it's just top notch, because when you consistently making these number of pips, it's not a fluke. And it's just been a wild ride. This week was awesome. Okay, so that was the GBP AUD, and the NZD I made some pips on. It's pretty sideways. This pair is just sideways. I got the levels drawn here, and it was just going up. I have a trade. I didn't post a video. It was I think that was last week. I didn't post a video. I got into this trade like on this move down, and I think, yeah, I got in like somewhere over here, and it bounced around and bounced up and down, and you don't know when you're in consolidation until you're like, oh no, we're in consolidation, and that's what happened. I mean, it took me forever to get out of, it just kept bouncing around. I think I made like 65 pips. I went for a 1-to-1 on that trade, and then I discovered start drawing my lines. I'm like, this is consolidation here, and then I just kept taking advantage. As soon as I put chart alarms, you can see a little chart alarm up here. It didn't go off, but I had my chart alarm set at these levels and here. So if it hit that, it would alarm me, and then I would either take the trade or not to take the trade. And that was the Euro New Zealand. Made some pips on that as well. Where are we? Then we had the GBP NZD. I have a special video for that, and you'll see that in the beginning. Well, towards the beginning of the video. Made some pips on that as well. Let's see. It's Euro New Zealand. Euro Aussie I made some pips on as well. Right here, I didn't take this trade for some reason, but I did make pips on it. But I made pips on this rundown. Some reason I don't know why I didn't take. I don't know why I didn't take this trade. But as you see, it dropped like a brick. But I did make pips on a Euro Aussie. Because I think I made it on my other account. Let's say the pound CAD. Yeah, the pound CAD. I don't really. I don't think it was. This was sideways. I don't think I really traded the pound CAD because on my broker platform, it just didn't look. It had like it looked like it was more bullish than bearish towards the beginning of the week, and I kind of left it alone. Welcome back, traders. Just going to give you a little insight on my trades that I've placed, that I closed this week. I stated last week I didn't make that many pips because I was already in positions and I didn't want to close them out. They had trailers running, the extensions, and basically this week I closed them out, or they hit their extensions, trailers stopped them out, but it was just an unbelievable week this week in capturing pips, 33,245 pips. And I just want to thank Market Traders Institute for providing a superior Forex education. And also, there's no trader left behind. And I am, a testament to that, if you guys need help trading or you need questions answered, I'm on the MTI Family Facebook page, and you can ask me any questions there about the strategy or anything in general. So this strategy is in the forum. 2040 strategy combined with the volatility stop indicator, and I use the 2040 to make my entries, and I use the volatility stop to manage the trade, and also using UTP techniques that is taught in the the trading education. So here's a little insight on the trade. The GBP AUD big winner, huge. I traded off the 60-minute time frame. D extension 464 pips. This one here took some profit. Close to the B low. Took some profit there. 155. Over here, another D extension 448. Because I entered that trade multiple times because it just kept pulling back. I had to get in. Here we go on this side of the chart. 473 pips, 401, 307, 189 on the Euro New Zealand, GBP New Zealand 165, pound Aussie again 247, another lot 253, and then I got some, and then you got another one here 151 on the Euro Australian, and then the Euro Australian again 125. Some of these trades are, these are 20-40 trades, and they turn into bigger moves. I had a couple of some 40. There's some trades in here that sometimes the trailer starts running, it keeps going. So there was just a little insight on my trades. Like I said, excellent week this week. So I will update you with some of the other videos I took during the week. So, Market Traders Institute. If you're not making pips, please check out this strategy.
How you doing, traders? I'm looking to buy this GBP JPY down in this support level here. I'm just waiting for this to hit this support line here, and then once it hits that support line, I'm going to be in. So we'll see what happens. So already called a buy trade. What it did was it made a high, then it came back, tested this level here, and this was really the entry here. But now once it breaks above, makes another high, it's just going to pull right back to where it was previous resistance. So see, it's starting to come down now. And I'm looking to take a trade in this area. Because I already got a buy signal here on my broker platform here. And a lot of times what it does is it'll break out, make this high, come back down, retest it, and then on its way. Because there's no supply zones up here. The first supply zone is at 87.45. So we'll see what happens with this trade. I'll give you an update on this trade if I take it. How you doing, traders? Let's give you an update on this GBP JPY trade that I called earlier today. Let me go to my broker platform, which is here. Okay, I entered this trade down here at 86.44. I took off 2 positions. I took off a 20 pip target, and I took off a 40 pip target. Now my entry was, it made a high here, took out this high. Now what it's going to do is it's going to pull back to this support level here, and then it bounced around, and then it made another high, and then where is it going to go? It's going to pull back to past resistance, future support right here, and my entry is right. I didn't get the total super optimal entry. I wanted to get the entry right here, but it pulled back to about this level. Then it was starting to go on its way, so I took a position of 86.44, and it looked like it wanted to stay around this level, so I entered, and I was looking to target this zone So I'm currently up on the third position, about 100, almost 100 pips. And as much as I was up about a 101, so I'm waiting for it to hit the 87.50, and then I'm going to exit the trade, and then I'm gonna probably look for a pullback. And this was the pullback I probably, I was looking for because I knew it was going to hit this support level here, and that's why it pulled back, and now it should take this target 87.50. So let's see what happens with this trade. Live trading, Market Traders Institute.
Hello, traders. Just giving you an update on this 2040 strategy combined with the volatility stop indicator. I was trading the Great British Pound JPY once again, and I got out of the trade around here. I took 20 pips, I took 40, and then I took 85 pips right around this level because it kept it was indecision up here. Tweezer tops is going down, so and the trailing stop would have taken me out anyway. So I grabbed some pips here, and now I was looking for a pullback. I was trying to find an entry point, and what happened was it made a high here, and then it pulled back I made another high, so now I was just waiting for a pullback onto this level, which was past resistance. Now what is it going to be? Future support. And there it is. I was probably looking at something else. I could have gotten in this trade um, over here. But, I made a high, and then it came back down, and I got right here. My entry is at 87.49. You got to be really quick on some of these entries, or just use you know, uh, an entry order. Okay, and so we're gonna try to target old level from before. That if I didn't have good trade management, I would have lost on that trade, but I did. So I protected myself. As the old saying, always protect yourself. Okay, we're gonna look to try to limit out here. We got 3 lots on, and currently up. So I got 49, 59, 69. We got 20 pips. So we're gonna take 20 off, and then we will update you back on this trade. Now we got a bullish green candle. Let me check the currency strength indicator. See how we're looking. Okay, pound strength, Aussie strength, but then on the 1 minute we got the pound strength, Japanese yen weakness. Okay, so we got the pound strength, so we have everything in our favor here. This is another tool that Earl Henley used. So we are going to we're now what we're gonna do. A lot of times in session with Earl, if you get a big, strong direction trade, you can leave that 20. You don't have to take that lot off if you don't want to. It's up to you how you want to trade it. But this is a strong run, and I'm actually going to leave it on because it's not that far away. And this is part of a bigger swing, as a matter of fact. So currently, let's try that again. It's that bullish candle. Yeah, so we're like 30 pips away from the target. And I will update you back on this trade. Market Traders Institute. If you're not making pips, please check out this strategy. How you doing, traders? Just giving you an update on this Great British Pound JPY trade. I entered here. I was looking, like I said before, I was looking for a re-entry on this pair after I took 20 pips, 40 pips, and 85 pips. And I'm in at 149. And here's another tool that Earl Henley used with the 2040 strategy. Um, he used the currency strength indicator, and I use it to get a pretty good entry on this pair. Um, in order to read the currency strength indicator, you have a zero line here. Okay, you have the zero line, and you have the base currencies. As for you have this is the New Zealand dollar in white. You would have to go to the next page to see that. It is right there. And you got the Aussie dollar in orange. And now it has a new feature where you just click on, you can tell which currency pair it is. See, right now, this is a 60 period look back, um, 1 minute 60 period look back. So it's like an hourly look back. This is the US dollar in blue, is the weakest currency currently. This is used for scalping, which is what the 2040 strategy is, scalping 20 pips, 40 pips, and then, we implemented the trailers for the third unit. Okay, and right now I did before when I entered this trade, it was really yen weakness. The yen is right here. It is the Japanese yen. It was where the US dollar is currently now, and then the pound was opposite this way. So it was divergence. The pound was up here, and the JPY was down here. And that's how it does help you out with entries. Because Earl used a lot of different techniques in his AOD sessions, and like I said, I traded with Earl for a whole year. See, now you got divergence with the U.S. dollar and the Australian dollar. I traded with Earl a whole year, and what happened is with that strategy, with the 2040 strategy, it evolved over time. And by the time he left, in August, the strategy, we made it, the students made it even better. So just giving you some of the tools and stuff that Earl Henley used to use when trading a session, and that's why the system is so profitable, and it's just amazing. And we're just waiting for we're going to take profit up here on the JPY. So this is the currency strength indicator, and here's my settings. 1 minute at a 60 look back period, that's approximately 1 hour. And then the other setting I also use, I have this on another window. I have both settings. I have this setting, and then I have a 15-minute setting with a 16 period look back, to look back into the previous session. Just say we're coming into the Frankfurt and London session, we would use this to see what happened in the Sydney Tokyo session. It was a 4-hour look back period. So 4-hour look back period, who's the strongest? It would be the pound, and also the pound Aussie. That's why the pound Aussie is slowly going down. Because you had Aussie strength. Let's see. Let's click on the Aussie. You had Aussie strength here is in orange, and then you had some pound strength. So they were kind of fighting each other all night. Now, if you look on the left, let me go back to my 1 minute. Look at the Great British Pound versus the yen. So let's go back to that 60-minute period. Let's refresh that, and you could see the pound in red, and look at the strength of the pound, and also the U.S. dollar. There's the yen right there. It's going down. You hear my trailers on the ATM with my other platform, my broker platform. You got Australian, see, the Aussie and the pound is strength together, so they're going to kind of cancel each other out. But if you're trading, what you want to do is you want to pair up strong versus weak. Japanese yen, but right here you got the Canadian dollar weakness, you got the USD weakness, and these are like the tools that he used, and it's so many. If you traded with Earl, you know he had so many different tools and websites and just a whole host of information in learning how to trade the forex. All right, so let me give you an update on this trade. I didn't want to, babble on, but there's some good information in that in the 2040 forum. If you haven't checked it out, it's the roundtables are a must for this strategy, and also the Word documents, the PDFs and the PowerPoints has all the information, to become a successful trader. So give it a shot, and I will update you back on this trade. How you doing, traders? Just giving you an update on this Great British Pound JPY trade. I took 2 units off, 39 pips. So I'm going to leave the last one for the limit. Moved. Well, the stop was already moved up already. Took 2 positions off, and now we're just gonna let it play out. Either it's gonna hit the, come back and stop it out positive, or go to the limit. See currency trades, because also made a bearish candle. The candle closed below the orange T38, and we got a cross set up. So took some of the risk out of the trade, and we'll see what happens. So now, it's risk free. Once it goes a certain number of pips, you initially want to get that risk out of the trade immediately. This was pretty much a scalp trade here up to this level, and we risked very low. So we got in here, we put our stop below here, hold this last low, 23, was it 25 pips, and we're going for was it 50? Is this level? Yeah, about 52. So it was a 2-to-1 trade. So we already booked. We took the 2 lots off. We got the last one running. But what is I think it's going to do now is going to cross is setting up, close below the orange 8. Currency strength still is telling me that the pound is stronger, but I think it's going to come back down here and maybe find this trend line and then work its way up here to this limit. That's what I think is going to happen. So that's why I exited 2 positions. So see what happens. Anyway, Australian pound trade. Aussie's just weak. Yeah, this thing's going down. Also, we got the ECO here too. Let's blow this chart up so I can take a, dissect it a little more. We still have not got the red bar in the awesome oscillator, but the T3 13 on the ECO, you got that lower candle here happening, so it's definitely going to go down. And then once you get the red bar over here, and with the awesome oscillator, it'll start descending down.
How you doing, traders? It's an update on this GBP JPY trade. Now, you get the T3 tilting crossing over candles. Second green bar on the awesome oscillator. of course, you get a green bullish candle, and what happens? You get a test. So we will see what happens, but this thing's going to the north. How you doing, traders? Trading the GBP JPY. I'm out of this trade. It took the last position of 59 pips from my entry before. That was a re-entry. My entry was down here at 42, and we finally hit that green mark there at 88. Looks like 88.0. I had mine at 88.02. I guess it got filled by the broker. So I'm out of the trade. And now I'm looking to see what it's going to do after that. All right. How you doing, traders? It's giving you an update on this trade. I just took this trade, the Great British Pound, JPY. It took a while before I got down here, but I knew it was coming back when I made my video before. Okay, we're at support. Here we are. We're at that line that took forever to get past. So, like I said, a pretty tight stop, but if it dips down a little further, I'll buy it. Down here at I think I said 83 or something like that. But let's see, it should. It's right on the volatility stop line, so I got a pretty tight stop. I think my stop is at just below this. I think it's at 70 right there. Okay, so we're gonna see what happens in this area, but it took I don't know how many times. I mean, it was a battle, just going back and forth, fighting, trying to get through this level. I don't know how many times. Let's see if we can go back a little bit. Here's it won, it failed. There's other times it failed too. It failed there. Then it failed, like made a high, but it was lower than this high. Then it fell. Then I bought right here on the volatility stop line with a super tight stop. Then it came right up here, and it failed again. But this time it failed, which I knew it would finally break through, and it finally broke through. But this is just, you know, a couple of days, I guess it was here. But then I had this line drawn for about 2 weeks. In one of my videos, you saw it when I think it was the pound rate decision. I had taken profit at the 127, and I had locked in profit, and he had locked in the other lot, and it was on its way up to this line, up to this level, and it dropped, and it was about 50 pips shy of the extension, and it was on its fifth swing on the 10-minute time frame, and then the news came out, and then it dropped 320 something pips, and look, it came all the way back. And I actually made a trade after it dipped. Once it makes a high, this currency. Once it makes a high, just wait for it to pull back. It made a high, pulled right back to the level that it broke out from, and there's your entry. You just have to have patience and wait, and not just jump into a trade because you see a bullish candle, and or vice versa, a bearish one in that direction. Sometimes you just have to wait. So all it is patience, and and have your your trading plan in order, and not try to deviate from that plan. So how you doing, traders? Just giving you an update on that Great British Pound JPY trade. Took that trade, put my stop below here, and I got stopped out. I lost 27 pips on that move. All right, no big deal. I mean, I trade. I'll take that trade every time because you just got to remember. Yeah, first of all, you can't win all trades, and you got to stick to your rules. And right now, it stopped me out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wait, see what happens here, and we'll take it from there. Let's see where we're at. And the news came out, and it just stopped me right out. I had my stop at 70, 75, and I got in at 88.02 or something like that. So there's no big deal. You got to stick to your rules. That's it. If you don't have a trading plan, then you're trading blindly. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen at this level here. It's at the from this swing high to swing low, swing low to swing high is hitting the 786, and I was going for my risk reward was, I was first gonna target. Let's see, let's go back from here. I was gonna target this high. Uh, that would have been about 80 pips, and then the next level been the infamous 127, 120 pips away. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I made a ton of pips this week so far, and I'm up a lot. The market's definitely moving this week, big time. Let's go to the Ninja trader. 261 on that pair. Plus, I got multiple positions on that. I'm still waiting for the. Maybe it may try to make the extension today. We'll see, or tomorrow. My limit is down here at 210.62. And like I said, I have even better positions than this one. I have a position that is like 215.50.
Yeah, how you doing, traders? Just a phenomenal week of trading. The 2040 strategy combined with the volatility stop and also UTP techniques are used with this strategy. And basically, support and resistance, trend line breaks, um, candlestick formations, Fibonacci's. It's all incorporated into the strategy. And like I said, I trade the 2040 and also trade the volatility stop. The volatility stop is a 60-minute time frame, but I use the 2040 to enter the trades and use that 2040 trade management. So, any questions? You can hit me up on the MTI Family Facebook page, or I post on Market Traders Institute Facebook page as well, and also have a YouTube channel with a whole lot of videos that I've taken over this year. So there's some trade setups and how I trade. Feel free to take a look at them. I have a playlist, a 2040 playlist that you could play, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen for next week, and it also will tell you what currency pairs I trade. I trade like basically 6 pairs, and I try to stick with them. Because they are like the big movers. What I'm gonna do also this week, I'm gonna have to see where the daily trading ranges are, because I know the Great British Pound JPY has dropped, pretty substantial. I think it's like 139. That's normally not in my criteria of trading ranges, but it was pretty predictable this week, and we'll see. All right, I'm out, and I'll see you next week on the Market Traders Institute family Facebook page. I'm out.